How you doing, everyone? So today we're going to be having a look at the Inov-8 TrailFly. It does have a big long name, but I'm going to ignore the big long name and just call it the TrailFly. So it's been out for a few months now, but I finally got around to getting some runs in and testing it out in different types of terrain. So I've not done any particularly long runs in it, but the runs I have done, I've made sure I've mixed it up. So I've been out on wet, wide, hard packed trails, forest trails, single track, some road, and I've took some footage of this morning's run up a good hill. So as I talk through some of the features, you can see the sort of terrain I was running on. So before we get going though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Leave a like and leave a comment below at the end. So we'll start off this video with me giving a few stats of the shoe, some of the features, and then I'll show you how wide my feet actually are to give you a bit of an idea as to how they might fit you. And then I'll show you the run I did this morning, and I'll chat on the run on some of the features as I'm running. So the shoe itself, it is 25mm in the heel and 19mm in the forefoot, which gives it a 6mm drop. 6mm drop for me is perfect. I'm not particularly a forefoot runner, I'm more of a midfoot runner. And when I get tired, it drops to the heel when you get tired, it just drops to the heel. You lose your form. So 6mm drop's ideal. Anything under like 4mm, I personally get some issues with my calves. So between 5 and 8 is my kind of sweet spot. So 6mm drop is bang on what I wanted. Loads of cushioning in the shoe. It's got this G-Fly midsole, so that's a graphene enhanced midsole, which is supposed to give you 25% more energy return.
So running through this, or along this narrow single track bit of path, it's got a mixture of everything, this path. It's loose pebbles, bigger stones, bigger rocks, wet tree roots. I'm purposely trying to run over knobbly bits, and I'm still not really feeling things digging through. So there does seem to be plenty of protection from underneath. The foam in the midsole, yeah, nice and cushioned without being too squeezy. But yeah, as I'm saying, I am trying to hit certain rocks which you can't avoid along here. And yeah, nothing poking through. So really good protection from underfoot.
Since I've been using them, they have been nicely cushioned. Much more cushioning on these particular shoes than any other Inov-8s that I've tried before. Likes of the G270s, they had cushioning, but not as much as this. This is much more built up. Feels more protective, and it's designed for hard rocky paths, trails and ultra runs. So it's not designed for super muddy conditions. It does have 4mm lugs underneath, which are nicely spaced out as well. So if you're going to run through any mud, it should splay out quite nicely. It shouldn't really clog up, but it's not designed, it's not like a mud claw. It's 4mm lugs as designed for harder packed, rockier terrain. Now you'll notice on the bottom here, a massive groove. So that's a 10mm groove, and they call it adapter flex. So basically that flexes super easy. So it's supposed to allow your foot to flex more naturally when you're running on uneven terrain. Now I know your foot doesn't normally flex in that particular position, but when you are running on it and your foot's giving it all, trying to keep itself stable, that the whole shoe is able to move naturally, and it does feel nice and responsive.
That's a good reminder for myself. I just stubbed my toe in a rock. Didn't feel it hit my toe, so good toe protection.
It's got a nice toe bumper at the front, so a bit of protection for your toes. It's got a mesh upper, which should be nice and breathable. Welded overlays across here, so when you tighten the laces, it should grip across and give you a good hold on your foot. It does have these little cutouts on either side, so you can attach a gaiter if you want to. And on the inside, it's got a boomerang footbed. So a boomerang footbed, it's got little dimples on it. It's got 6mm thick and it's nice and cushioned. So with the cushioning of the boomerang footbed and the cushioning with the G-Fly midsole, it is really nice. So it's going to be nice and forgiving if you're going to be wearing this for a long time. Hence it's designed for kind of like ultra running and hard packed trails. So it should just give your body a bit of relief when you're feeling tired with the extra cushioning. So the tongue is the same sort of tongue that they use on the G270s. So it's a very thin tongue, not much padding in there at all. But I've not noticed on the runs I've done any pressure coming down from the laces. So it's strange, because I would expect, I would prefer a thicker, more cushioned tongue to relieve any pressure, but I haven't had any pressure. So they seem to have got that right. It's gusseted, so bits shouldn't come in and fall down the sides.
So I've just tested out the grip on some wet, steep slabs. So I've ran up and down these a few times, up and down. Sometimes I felt good. I got up, no issues. There were a couple of occasions where my foot was slipping a bit. But it is a big, or several big slabs of rock, which are very greasy. It has been wet. It's not rained in the past hour or two, but it's rained this morning. So they are wet. So that's given me a good idea as to how grippy they are on wet slabs. Just be careful, basically. There is some grip, but anything that's a big slab, you're gonna slip on. I've tried running on these exact same slabs with loads of different shoes. I've never found anything that's given me full security. But on the standard kind of rocky terrain that I've been running up, smaller rocks, the grip has been absolutely fine. No issues at all.
And it's got a Fitscale of 5, which is Inov-8's widest fitting. So a lot of the times that doesn't really mean a lot to many people, because a lot of people have really wide feet. I don't have overly wide feet, but I have done the following for you. So to be able to give you a bit of an idea as to how wide or narrow and what the fit's like for myself, I've drawn around my foot on a piece of paper, so I can give you some sort of scale so you can understand the size of my feet and how they fit me. So I've marked on the side the widest points of my feet, and then I've measured across. So the widest part of my feet was exactly 11 centimeters across, and that has given me this much room. So that's how tight I lace them. So they're laced up fairly tight, but there is room to lace them tighter if need be. But just in case your feet are much wider, which lots of people are, there's plenty of room in there that you could slacken off the laces and there'd still be enough room for a wider foot than mine.
Now this has to be one of the best trails about for testing shoes. It's absolutely fantastic.
So the weight of the shoes, well, that brings back into the full name of the shoes. Within the full name is G300. So the G300 means they should be 300 grams as an average weight of the size range of the make that shoe in. So in my particular size, which is UK 11, it's heavier than 300 grams. I've just weighed them, but they're still wet from this morning's run, so it's not a very accurate reading. So they're just over 400 grams, my size 11, but they are wet, so I have to take that into account. So in summary, feels like a well-built shoe. It's going to give you protection from below and above. It's true to size, so UK 11 for me has been absolutely fine. That's what most of my shoes are. I've not felt the need to go up or down a half size. It gives a soft feel underfoot, especially noticeable I found when running down a road where I'm putting more impact in my forefoot as I'm striding down the road. Lots of cushioning there. I really did notice it a lot there, and it was really nice. So I'm enjoying the cushioning. Fit's been great. No issues with my foot slopping about. Hopefully with you seeing the width of my foot might give you an idea if it's going to fit you or not. It's not light, but it's, yeah, as I say, cushioned and protective. I did write down a few words earlier. I just thought, right, just write down a few quick phrases as to what I think of the shoe. And I came up with long-lasting, durable, comfortable, protective, cushioned and expensive. Can't get away from the expensive bit. It is £170, which is not cheap. But it's going to last a long time. You're going to get value for your money. So is it really expensive? If the sole is going to last, Inov-8 guys have said that they've had folk running in it and it's still really responsive and working nicely at well over 1,000 kilometers. So if it does last you 600-700 miles, then is it really that expensive? Now I have noticed from some other reviewers out there that they found it to be quite smelly. So here's a sniff test for you. It's not. It's just the smell of my foot. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed having a look at the run. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you next time.